Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. So I'm back, guys. I was kind of scarce for a while. I took the summer to just be a little bit introspective. I did a video maybe once a month since I cataloged my whole experience with COVID. For those of you who haven't watched that, I have a series of videos that I did starting in May when I went to Israel. I got COVID and I've been kind of enjoying my hybrid immunity, I guess. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit because I've got to the point where I feel like I'm almost at odds, like with my own channel. I wonder if other content creators experience this. But in the Facebook group page discussion, and for those of you who haven't found that, let me just give that a quick plug. Sandy's DIY Health Advocacy channel has an associated Facebook page, and if you go over to the Facebook page, you can ask to join the group, where you get more of an interactive discussion. It's very nice, and I just ask that people keep politics out of it. I ask that people not really plug a lot of other content creators in there, but I usually leave things up if they do. It's just a nice way to have an interactive discussion about some of the things that I'm talking about here on the channel and other things. But it seems to be mostly COVID. And I think this does happen a lot with content creators where a particular corner of content, in my case, COVID, really took over my channel. And I wanted it to, because at the time when I started, for those of you who have been with me for a while now know that PPE was impossible to find. It wasn't just scarce, it was non-existent. We couldn't find masks and things early on in the pandemic, and I started making up some criteria of my own, actually, before the World Health Organization did, and I started putting polypropylene in between layers of fabric and looking for certain things on the outside and whatever. I was really glad that I could help with all that. And then I decided when it got to be, I guess it was May, so April, I had my first bivalent boost. I had had 2 other boosts before, but I had my first boost with a bivalent booster, and I decided that I was going to start to peel off some mitigation and let the mop flop wherever it was going to, and then catalog my experience if I got COVID. I fully expected to get COVID. I did. I got COVID by week 8 after that boost. I wasn't at all surprised. My particular case was mild, although after the respiratory stuff resolved, I did experience some fatigue. I got kind of concerned about that for a while. That took several weeks to go away, and it did. And I talked also about how at that time I started to feel like a little bit sweaty and thirsty, and a friend of mine said to me, take your blood sugar, like a colleague actually. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. And so I did, and it was not out of the range, but it was in the high end of the normal range, which mine never is. And so I was a little bit concerned that maybe my body was struggling a little bit metabolically post-COVID, but that resolved as well. So I don't want to rehash that whole experience. Just go back and watch. I did like day 1 through, I don't remember, 10 or something, and then I started videoing a little less frequently. I'm happy with the way I did it, but I'm finding myself a little bit at odds. So let me just clarify for people who are on the Facebook page. And sometimes I almost feel a little bit admonished sometimes, and that's fine. Say whatever you want on the Facebook page. That's fine. I want people to be able to say whatever they want as long as they're kind and polite about it. But let me just say that I'm not recommending people do what I did. Everybody has to make their own risk-benefit analysis for themselves. I'm very happy with the way I've done it. I've largely gone back to normal, for those of you who are going to ask. I do use Enivid spray regularly. I have it with me in my bag all the time, and I have one out on my dresser. So in the morning when I'm getting ready, I take it in the morning. I don't only use it twice a day, which is what's recommended for preventive care. Like if I had it once early in the morning, that's my normal routine. And then like 4 or 5 hours later, I'm going in somewhere inside, a little more crowded. It's not a place where I'm going to wear a mask, or even if it is, then I will use the Enivid again. So sometimes I use it up to 4 times a day. I think that's helping. I think it helped when I had COVID that I was using Enivid. I believe that it drops the viral load exponentially pretty quickly. So yes, I'm still using that. And when I'm going into something that's very crowded, where I've deemed like no social cost, like I'm going into a big box store, or I'm going to be in an airport or something, I will mask. Now, sometimes I will only mask with a surgical mask, and my reason for that is at this moment, I'm not so concerned about COVID because I have some strong, very recent hybrid immunity. I've actually checked my antibodies recently. They are sky high. They are higher than they have ever been after a boost. So for me, it's more about colds and flus and things like that are more respiratory droplets and not quite as aerosolized. So I will wear a surgical mask and use the end of it. But that's about the extent of it, and I've largely gone back to normal. So I'm not telling anybody else what to do. So just think about it. I mean, say whatever you want, because I don't like censorship. I think that's just a very bad thing. But I just want to make clear that people understand that I'm not telling anybody else to do what I'm doing, but more importantly, that B, the reason I did what I did, and I planned to catalog my whole experience. I was pretty sure I was going to get COVID after I got rid of my mitigation shortly after my boost, and I'm glad I did it that way. I think having had the recent boost, using Enovid and all these things, I think helped so that I had a very mild case. But I did it so other people could have the benefit. I know that there are some people who are on one end of the spectrum, which is like you just go on with life and you just don't worry about this at all. And there are other people on the opposite end of the spectrum that feel that it's just not worth any risk, and my new normal is going to be to wear a respirator forever until we've got some better vaccines or something else changes. And I'm not ridiculing that, but I think that most people who watch my content are somewhere in between. And maybe they even vacillate on different ends of that continuum. But I was feeling like I'm not sure what to do. Like I would love to get rid of some of the mitigation. And if I could just have a crystal ball and know what would happen if I got COVID, and then I could go on with my life, because it was the damage being done from the social relative isolation was starting to pile up. And so my whole purpose was to catalog it so other people could see what happened to me and benefit some from that. It's not a guarantee that exactly what happened to me is going to happen to you, but I truly was just being really quite altruistic in my endeavor to catalog that whole experience, and I thought maybe it'll help somebody out there. So I'm just saying, please remember that before you come down really harsh on me when I'm saying what I'm saying on the Facebook page or anywhere else. I'm really glad I've done it this way. Do I wonder if there's anything lurking, I've had a virus lives in, it's dormant, but whatever, a virus is with you forever once you've had it. And, I've also had long shingles that resolved. I've had long other things like from common colds, which are other kinds of coronaviruses. And nobody's really studying, what those have done to the immune system, and nobody suggested mitigating that risk forever. But I personally am happy with the way I've done it. I will continue to get boosted. I'm not going to get this next boost right away because it seems that there's very little out there right now but it seems that what there is out there, what I found is that people who have had recent infection or hybrid immunity should still be pretty well protected. And I've been out and about, and I know there's a surge right now. Not so sure if there is in my area, but I haven't really mitigated lately, and I haven't, again, I've checked my antibodies, and all things point to that I've got some good hybrid immunity right now. So I won't get that boost right away. I think that would just be too inflammatory for me. But I was boosting around 9-10 months in between boosts. So, probably it'll be something like that or closer to a year, unless something changes, data changes, and I'm going to watch my antibodies in about 6 months. I'm going to look again. So, yeah. So that's where I'm coming from. And please, by all means, keep up all the discussion in the Facebook page. I mean, I love it, but just understand where I'm coming from. I was trying to be helpful in letting you see what my experience was as a result of my decision to reduce mitigation and how things went for me. And I thought that would be helpful for people. I hadn't seen that done really. Yeah, okay. So in the meantime, I've got two little things really random here, but I've got a little life hack that I thought might be helpful. And then also, I was looking for sunglasses. I have the worst luck. I don't buy expensive sunglasses because I'm always losing or breaking sunglasses. I like really good UVA protection and really large because that helps with the skin around your eyes. I'm really careful. I wear sunscreen every single day, whatever. So I found these on Amazon, and I thought they actually looked really funny, but they're really big and they were popular, whatever. They come in a zillion different colors, and I wanted to mention them to you guys because it turns out, I thought these looked so silly, but I love them, and it turns out that these are like actually I guess a Tom Ford dupe. That's what that little thing that looks like a T in there on the corner is. I had no idea. So yeah, you see my ring light now. I got the brown. I actually like the black better, but on my coloration, I think it's just too stark. So I got the the leopard print with the brown shading and the brown lens. But I have really liked them, and I've spent almost nothing on these. So this is the kind of thing I could get, like one for my car and whatever. It's just a little random thing I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, I'm not a big slave to fashion or anything, but I guess if this ticks that box. So I'm going to put it down below, a link in the description box. Now that will be an affiliate link. This is just kind of a fun thing. So yes, I would earn a commission if you were to buy something off that link. So if you don't want to do that, then just go look at what it is and then go buy it on Amazon, not with the link, okay? The other thing is I have a little life hack here. For those of you, okay, I've got a little life hack that I might even do as a separate discussion, but I use ceramic nonstick pans. That might be the separate discussion. For those of you who have gotten rid of like Teflon and stuff, the coating, and moved to nonstick pans that are made out of ceramic instead because they are healthier, you don't have first of all, you don't have any peeling with anything that's going to come off in your food and interact with your food, and doesn't give off these noxious substances when heated. Ceramic. This is one of my ceramic pans. This is made by Green Pan, and it's a green pan that was specifically made for Williams Sonoma. Okay, but there are all kinds of green pans. So it's a ceramic. Now these are not perfect either, by the way. My view on nonstick stuff is that every household needs like 1 or 2 nonstick pans. I am not somebody who's going to go out and use every single thing nonstick just to get rid of oil. A, you can't get rid of the oil completely anyway. And B, I don't think the oil is all that bad when used judiciously and depending on what kind. So I do use these, but very specific purposes. I'm kind of a non-pro home chef kind of, and the nonstick doesn't do everything. You can't cook on really high heat. You can't sear. You can't deglaze a pan, whatever. That's a whole other discussion. So you will read that nobody's ever like super happy with any of these things. It's just a necessary evil. But one of the things I read that was an indictment of the ceramic nonstick pans, I figured out a way to fix. So now, sometimes after you use these for a while, you find your food is sticking. Now, if that's because you've got cracks in the surface, and that even micro cracks that you can't see, I can't fix that for you. But sometimes it's actually not. It's like a gummy feeling, and mostly you feel it around here, around I do anyway, around the slope, and then this food can stick to that, and it's like a gummy buildup. And what that is that's an oil buildup, either from the food or from something you're putting in the pan. By the way, you're not supposed to use like olive oil, any kind of a low heat oil, or definitely no sprays. So you're supposed to use like a high heat oil in these when you use any oil at all. But nonetheless, even from the food, you will get, I'm really careful about it, and you still get some of this gummy buildup. Well, they say to use, I don't know what, they buy something that I don't normally buy, or some kind of solvent. Now I need like all kinds of like products and, equipment to use, and I'm just not going to do that. So the thing is like sitting in the cupboard. And I thought to myself, vinegar deglazes pans, right? Acid deglazes pans. So I wonder, how toxic is acid going to be for a ceramic pan? It's probably not. So I did a little Google search, and it's fine. And actually somebody had already mentioned this. So then I felt like somebody really stole my thunder. I put a mixture of water and vinegar. I didn't measure it. I was hoping for it to be about half and half, water and vinegar. Put it on the stove on medium heat and let it start to simmer, and then go around with like either a wooden spoon or a plastic utensil and start to just get off some of that stuff that's like stuck on the outside, or even a very gentle scrub brush or sponge. You got to be careful that your hand is protected though, because obviously it's hot. Good as new, guys. Good as new. Look how sparkly shiny that is. You can see my ring light in it. That is going to extend my use of these products. And again, they have their own little corner of the universe in my house. I don't use a lot of nonstick, but when you need it, you need it. And so I was so happy to be able to kind of revive my nonstick ceramic cookware. So yeah, let me know if you want like another video on that, like just on nonstick ceramic cookware in general, because I do think it's healthier, although not perfect. And I do have some recommendations about how to pick one, because there are so many. So yeah, that was my quick little life hack, and kind of my coming forward, I guess, about where am I at with my channel. So I don't want to think that maybe I'm just parting company with all my viewers when it comes to the COVID issue, but I probably am to some extent. And admittedly, my approach to COVID in the beginning probably over-selected for viewers who were extremely risk avoidant like myself. And so it only makes sense that I'm going to have more people who are risk avoidant than I am at this point, given what I have changed. So let me know if I can be helpful in any way on that. And let me know if you have any other ideas about other content that you would like to talk about outside of COVID, because that's kind of when I started my channel. I didn't have COVID in mind. It wasn't here yet. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful, and I hope everybody's had a great summer. And until next time, be well. Bye-bye.